We are live. Just 1 minute, please. I need to confirm that we are active. We are live. Okay. Just 1 minute. Good evening, guys. I need to confirm that. Let me apologize. We are active. Joining me. Um, I'm still trying to figure out this whole technical stuff. But yeah, we are still working with time. And the exact time we said this is going to be slated for is what we're going to work with. I'm just going to add our guest for today so we can go straight to the point. Hi, Zuri.
Hi Esther, how are you?
How you doing? You're
I'm
looking
fine.
amazing.
Are you serious? Thank you so much. Can you hear me
Can you
clearly
check
though?
your volume? I think I can't hear you
Okay.
well. I don't know if that's for my computer. So please check.
Can you hear
Can
me
you hear
now?
me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, but it's still very low.
I can you can
Maybe it's
hear
for,
me now.
but
Okay, let
I'm
me let
audible,
me
right? You
try
can hear me.
taking off my AirPods. I don't know if it will be better.
Oh no, I can barely hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can barely hear.
Esther, can you hear me now? Hi Esther, can you hear me now?
Hi, Zuri.
Yes, can you hear me now?
I can barely hear what you're saying, but let me do the introduction.
Can
How
you hear me now?
better? What did you do? What did,
Okay, but I can't really hear you.
oh, wow.
I think it's network. Maybe as we go on, you
Get
know.
better. All right. As we
Sorry?
go on, is most likely going to get better. So let's.
Oh, I can't hear you now. That's the problem.
But I can hear you now.
So maybe, sorry? So I don't know if our
How
viewers
about
can
now?
actually hear you, but I can't hear you. Can you hear me though?
I can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me. Let me try. Let me just try the AirPods again. So sorry, because I can't hear you. Oh, let me see. Okay, can you hear me now? What? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. How about you?
Oh, still can't. Try wearing my AirPods again.
We'll be all right. All right. Why?
Okay, is it better?
How about mine? Is mine better now?
Yes, yes, I can hear you. I can hear you perfectly. Ooh.
A little introduction before we get into the.
Okay.
We are starting exactly 4:30, so we should be done.
Yeah.
My name is Esther Ilholo Anastasia. I am, and today I have on this live with doing well. She is a travel consultant, a scholarship expert, and sharing some tips on how to prepare for scholarship. And then I'm going to share a very little um, practical step for us today, just so whatever Zuri has given us today, we can get another venue. Zuri, my network is really bad today. I'll just give you the floor. Introduce yourself better by today's thing.
Okay, thank you very much, Esther. Thank you. And I'm really glad to be here. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Hi, everyone that's viewing. My name is Zuri Wealth, and I'm a travel consultant. I'm a YouTuber, and I basically focus on scholarships and study abroad. And when Esther invited me on this session, I was quite excited because I'm always embracing the opportunities to discuss how Nigerians and Africans can actually relocate the best way. You know, we all know that the economy is not smiling now, and so a lot of people who want to study abroad are finding it more and more difficult to afford some things like the tuition fees and so on and so forth. And so for me, talking about scholarships and trying to pair Nigerians with the scholarships that they're eligible for me, it's something that makes me feel fulfilled because I know that in one way or the other, I'm actually helping my fellow Nigerians or Africans to fulfill their study abroad dream without breaking the bank. And one of the topics that I was discussing with Esther before this live session was the common mistake that a lot of people make. I mean, I know that it's everywhere online, people talking about how to be eligible for scholarships and so on and so forth. But I think that people need to also be speaking more about the mistakes that a lot of people make, the mistakes that a lot of qualified people make, because a lot of times I have applicants come to me and they say, "Oh, I did everything and I'm qualified, so good and everything, but I still did not get the scholarship." So what happened? Aside from the fact that aside from the fact that most of these scholarships are very, very competitive, there are other points that we're going to be discussing today about the mistakes that a lot of us make when it comes to applying for scholarships. So I'm excited about this session and I know that it's going to be a productive one. So over to you, Esther. Or do you want me to just jump in?
I have some personal questions before we jump
Okay. Okay.
for okay. Can I go ahead?
Sorry?
That's fine with you. Your question.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Sure. Personal questions. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. The Journey So Far Network. It's good to meet you too.
So for our viewers, you're very pretty lady. You like to know, single, or are you married?
Wow, this is amazing. Well, there's no wedding ring yet, so I'm single, but not searching. Thank you.
Single, she's not searching. So I'm sorry about people. So another question I want to ask. I know you would give us more details about this, but I would like you to tell us from the beginning.
Sorry, Esther, I think I lost you. You said I should
Network.
tell you from the beginning. Yeah.
So the second question I want to ask is this particular scholarship program. Who do you think?
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that question, Esther. If I
Can you
got you right, you said for who are the people who are eligible for scholarship programs, right? Who are the people eligible? So, to be very honest with you, when it comes to scholarship applications, it is very, very wide. Okay. There are different scholarships, and then different scholarships have their rules and policies for eligibility. So, for example, you have maybe the Chevening Scholarship. What the Chevening Scholarship is looking for might not be what Erasmus Mundus is looking for. Okay, so for the Mastercard Scholarship, for example, their requirements might not be what Erasmus Mundus is looking for. But most of the scholarships that I focus on are focused on Africans. Okay, there are scholarships that are focused on Africans and focused on Africans in developing countries, actually. Not just any country, but developing countries, which is a good one for us as Nigerians, because it means that as Nigerians, we have an edge. We would have an edge to apply for some of these scholarships, especially those that are targeted at Africans and Nigerians, especially, or like I would say, Africans in developing countries. So there is no one size fits all when it comes to scholarship applications. Okay, there are different eligibility criteria for different scholarships. There are some scholarships that would need you to have a very, very high score, a very, very high CGP, and all that. There are some scholarships that don't necessarily need that. There are some scholarships that would be more interested in what your productivity has been, how productive you have been in terms of your leadership skills, in terms of your volunteering skills, and so on and so forth. Okay, while there are some scholarships that don't really care about that, they just want to see your university degree, basically. So there is no one size fits all, and I know that this is not the only session that we're going to be having. Hopefully, this is not the only session we're going to be having concerning scholarship, because the topic is a really wide one, and I only decided to take one of the topics that I know would help us most as Nigerians and as Africans. So hopefully, after this one, you would invite me again for us to talk about another topic under the scholarship umbrella.
So we'd like to have, so now I'll give you the floor. For,
Okay, so I can go ahead. Okay, all right. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Once again, nice to have you here. So, like I said earlier on, Esther and I decided that we're going to, on this session, be discussing some of the biggest mistakes that a lot of us applicants make when applying for scholarships. Like she asked me earlier, what is the eligibility for scholarships? And I said that there is no one size fits all. And I know that for a lot of us, when we want to apply for a scholarship, we ensure that we dot our I's and cross our T's. So this is not to put you down in any way. I just thought that it's good for us to point out these factors that might be causing you to miss out on some scholarships. I know a lot of Nigerians that apply for 5, 6 scholarships at the same time in a year. Anyone that enters, we just move, right? So we're going to be talking about some of these points, and hopefully you resonate with one of them. If you have been applying for scholarships in the past and you haven't been getting in, or you have been missing out on some opportunities for scholarships, I will be running through some of these mistakes that we make, and hopefully you get to see where your mistake is, right? So the first one that I wrote down here is that one of the biggest mistakes we make is applying too late. Okay. Now you see that a scholarship, the deadline is next month, maybe in 2 or 3 weeks' time. And then you think that you can just rush up and start applying. What I have noticed that a lot of people do is that, because there are some people who are used to applying for scholarships, okay, they are used to applying for several scholarships at a time for themselves. And so you realize that the essay that they wrote for, let's say, Queen Elizabeth is the same essay that they want to submit in Erasmus Mundus, for example, or the same essay that they wrote for MEXT is the same essay they want to submit for this new scholarship. Okay, so I want to advise it doesn't work like that. Okay, if you realize that your time frame is really short for this particular scholarship, you can wait till the next year while you focus on other scholarships. That's just my personal advice, because it's better to be well prepared than to put your all in something and rush it and then lose. Okay, that's what I always advise, right? So when you see a scholarship online that you want to apply for, the very first thing you need to do is read what are the essentials. Okay, what is the scholarship looking for, right? And ensure that you can actually apply for this scholarship within the time frame given. Okay, so most of the time, why some people lose their scholarships or don't get in is maybe the first thing might be that your essays are rushed. Okay, you either rush your essay or you end up bringing in the essay from another scholarship and submitting for this new scholarship when they are looking for different things, right? So please do not rush your essay, right? The second thing is that, for a lot of scholarships, you need good referees. Okay, you need very good referees, right? So you have to ensure that whoever you're putting on your reference is not pressured, because I mean, a lot of them might be reached out to, right? So ensure that you don't pressure your referee. Okay, the third one when it comes to timeline is that your documents might end up being incomplete. And I've seen that a lot, especially with people who try to rush their scholarship, right? And one of the biggest issues with first of all, with documents being incomplete is that you won't even be considered at all. No matter how good your essay is, you won't even be considered at all, because it just shows that you do not pay attention to detail. And you know that when it comes to scholarships, there are thousands and thousands of people applying for scholarships every day. So someone at the on the desk looking at your scholarship, the person is actually looking for reasons to dump people, so they can pay attention to the people that are serious, in quotes, right? So if the person eventually sees that, look, you're not even prepared, your documents are not complete, that is a good excuse for them to dump you and focus on the other thousands, right? So please ensure that your documents are complete. And the final one is that your application might lack depth. If you apply too late, it's better for you to have months to prepare, right? Because if you do not have enough time to prepare to go over your application over and over again, your application might end up lacking depth, and that is very risky because something has to be unique about you. Okay, I was hosting an interview earlier today, and there was a question that my colleague asked. Right, he asked one of the applicants. He said, "What is unique about you?" So that is a question that a lot of people would be asking. Okay, when somebody looks at your documents, the first thing they want to see is what is unique about you. And so, what I normally advise is ensure that whatever it is you can do to ensure that your application is strong enough and it has depth and originality, make sure you do that. It's not just about compiling documents and putting together, right? They want to see that human touch in it. A lot of them, right? Especially scholarships like Erasmus Mundus. They don't just want to see documentation. They want to see what makes you unique. And so, if you rush over some of these scholarships, it might lack depth, and that is a huge problem because there's nothing unique about you. So why should we even choose you over thousands of people that we're yet to see, right? So please do not apply for your scholarships late. Esther, I don't know if there's anything you would like to add to this point before I go ahead. Esther, would you like to add something to my point, or I can go ahead?
Go ahead, go ahead. I'm just jotting
Okay, okay,
with
okay. So in summary, for my point one, a lot of scholarships, they reward brilliance. They reward stories that are well prepared. Okay, they don't reward just brilliance. They reward very good stories. And like I always tell people, whether it's a visa application or a scholarship application, you are telling a story. Okay, you're telling a story to the visa officer, you're telling a story to that scholarship that, look, this is the reason why, this is who I am, first of all, and this is the reason why you should choose me. So, whatever it is that can make your story unique and have depth, please do that. And one thing that you need to do is do not apply for scholarships very close to the deadline. So, my second point, one of the mistakes that a lot of qualified applicants make, which makes them to lose their scholarship, is not understanding what the scholarship is really looking for. When Esther was asking me how the people, what's the eligibility for people who are applying for scholarships, I said it is not one size fits all, right? So when you see a scholarship, you need to take your time to research what exactly are they looking for. Okay, some of them might be looking for, oh, you have to have straight A's, or you have to have A's and B's, or you have to have a CGPA of whatever 100,000, But some of them might be looking for, what community service have you done in the past few years? What impact have you made in your community? What are you helping to do in your community? What leadership roles are you occupying? Some scholarships, that is what they're looking for, right? They're looking for what makes you unique. Some scholarships are looking for, what are your long-term career goals, right? So the first thing you need to do is look at what the scholarship is looking for, right? Do your research. Some are heavily leadership focused, some are heavily academic focused. So you need to ask yourself, okay, what is this scholarship looking for? And after jotting down or writing down what the scholarship is looking for, you need to check yourself. Do I have the qualities that this scholarship is looking for? Because there might be a misalignment of goals between you and the scholarship, right? So you might have a very good CGPA, you might have very good academic background, but the scholarship is not looking for people like you. The scholarship is actually looking for people that have made some impact in their community. Okay, so you need to understand that sometimes misalignment is mistaken for weakness of application. Your application might be strong, but for the wrong kind of scholarship. Okay, like my mom would say, you're in the wrong place at the right time. So it's a good time for you to apply, but then you're applying on the wrong platform, right? So you need to know what scholarships actually would appreciate the kind of skills that you have. And that's what I mean by understand what the scholarship is looking for, right? Esther, I don't know if you would like to add to this point, or I should go ahead.
Please go ahead.
Okay, all right. So my third point is your personal statement. Okay, now I know that a lot of people, a lot of people will argue on this with me because, of course, my personal statement is my personal statement. It's all about me, right? Now I don't know if in the next session we're going to talk about how to write a good personal statement. Okay, we might not have that time to talk about it now. I know we have just 30 minutes, but one of the major mistakes that people make when they are applying for scholarships is reusing one generic personal statement. And that is very risky because the essay needs to be tailored to that scholarship. I've mentioned this before, that your application needs to have depth, okay? Because strong applications have a lot of intentionality, okay? And so if you apply and there is no intentionality, the scholarship panel would feel it, okay? Because these people are trained to read through scholarships, and so they know when somebody hasn't gone the extra mile. Okay, so on the personal statement of a particular scholarship that's looking out for more of leadership roles, on that personal statement, you want to talk more about what you've done in your community. You want to talk more about your leadership roles. If you have maybe an NGO or something, you want to focus more on that in your personal statement, right? But on a scholarship that's focused more on academic achievements, you want to focus more on your academic achievements when giving your personal statement, right? So maybe this scholarship is focused more on, okay, community development and climate change and all that. In your personal statement, you're going to talk a little about your academics comparatively compared to what you have done in your environment. Okay, I'm leading a movement against this, and that, or I'm leading a walk every week for climate change, climate change awareness and all that, that is what you're going to be focused more on, right? Now, for another scholarship that's talking more about, okay, your academics, you have to be, on point and everything, you're going to be speaking more about your academic background, your achievements in terms of your CGPA, in terms of your research in school, and so on and so forth. Okay, so those are the things you need to be focusing on, right? It depends
Hi,
on
Mary.
what the
Can
scholarship
you hear me?
wants. Yes, yes, Esther.
A question on the session.
Okay, okay. All right. This is from It's Yummy Boy. Do you want to read it, Esther?
So it's Yummy Boy is asking, is it mandatory I write to improve my chances of acquiring?
Okay, thank you, Yummy. To be very, very frank with you, I think that depending on the scholarship, first of all, like I said, depending on the scholarship, but to be very honest with you, I think that you should do all that you can to ensure that you show the scholarship panel that you are deserving of your scholarship, right? Because whatever it is you can do to have an edge over others, then do it. As long as it is around background or around the leadership skills that they're looking for, as long as it has something to do with what they're looking for, I will advise that you go ahead and do it. Okay?
Thanks,
All
Mary.
right, so let me go ahead. Okay, let me go ahead. So I talked about how reusing one generic personal statement is very, very risky because the scholarship panel would know, okay, that this person did not even plan this. The scholarship panel would say that this applicant does not understand the values of this program. And it is very important that you show them that you understand the values of the program and that your values are in alignment with the values of the program. Okay, it is not good for them to say that this story feels generic and this story feels recycled. Okay, it has to be tailored to them, right? Now, you need to in your personal statement, I know we might have another session to talk about personal statement, okay, but in your personal statement there are some questions that you need to answer in your personal statement. Okay, first is who are you, second is why this applicant, that is why you, right? You can also talk about your long-term goals in terms of why this scholarship, why are you applying for this scholarship. Now I know that there are some Nigerians that apply for 10 to 20 scholarships at the same time. But just try your best to make sure that you're able to convince the scholarship panel that this is the scholarship you want. Okay. So make sure that it's as personal to you as possible. Now, I want to go to the next point, and the next point actually brings a couple of, some controversy, right? Because um, a lot of people have very good grades, they have very good leadership skills. They even have very good volunteer experience, but their storytelling is very, very weak. Okay. And so, aside from listing your achievements, you need to connect the dots. Okay. You need to talk about why they matter. You need to talk about why you're listing these achievements in these scholarships, okay, in this scholarship application. And more importantly, you need to talk about what you have learned from those experiences. Okay, you don't just list your achievements and say, okay, because I've done like 5 or 6 things, these people will definitely choose me. No, you need to explain to the scholarship panel what was the impact of these achievements on your life, on your career, on your goals, okay, whether long term or short term. What was the achievements? How did it shape your goals? How did it shape you? How did it shape your mentality? Even though you are in a developing country, even though you are in a third world country, how did these achievements shape you? Now, one thing you have to understand is that the scholarship panel does not only want to see what you have achieved, they want to understand the kind of person that you are becoming. Okay, I'm going to say that again for the people at the back. The scholarship panel does not just want to see the 105 things that you have achieved, okay? They want to understand who you are becoming based on those achievements. So you need to explain to the scholarship panel that based on these achievements, this this is, I'm not saying that you should write it or that because of this achievement I am becoming this. If possible you can use ChatGPT to help you, but I'm saying the scholarship panel has to understand it in story form. When you're reading a storybook, especially if it's maybe an interesting biography, there's a way you feel invested. So what I'm trying to say is that your personal statement has to ensure, you have to ensure through your personal statement that this scholarship panel is invested in your story. You have to invoke those feelings of, oh, this person went through this, and so she or he is becoming this. She or he has been able to, change his mindset concerning this. Okay, so if you can do that, I think that it would really help your storytelling, to really help your application, because a lot of people have good grades. There are several people in the world, or in Africa, if I was to use Africa, because many of the scholarships I focus on are for Africans. There are lots of thousands and thousands of Africans that apply for scholarships that have very, very good grades. So, like I said, something has to stand you out. So, how are you able, through your achievements, to invoke that feeling, that investment, okay, from the scholarship? I think we have another question. Okay, so Yomi says, what if my achievements or projects lands me a paying role in the country? Does that increase my chances? Now, I will be very honest with you. First of all, what country are you talking about? Are you talking about the target country of your study, or you're talking about the country where you live? I need to know, Yomi, because if your achievements have already gotten you a job in the country that you're applying for scholarship to, and if I'm on the scholarship panel, I will definitely tell you, you don't need that scholarship. That's just on a lighter note. So let us know what country you're talking about. Is it the country where you live, or your target country? Also, if you're talking about the country where you live, you need to be careful, because um, so you need to understand that scholarships are meant for people who are not really able to afford. Okay, that's the background, right? So now, if you want to write in your personal statement that you have plenty of money, and I'm on the scholarship panel, I might not choose you. Honestly, I'm just being honest with you, right? Because you need to understand that the scholarship panel, they are human beings, right? And they are looking out for a combination of things. First of all, who really needs this scholarship? Okay, in terms of financially, who really needs this scholarship? Number two, who is eligible in terms of your achievements, your storytelling, like I said, how you've been able to evoke the feelings of the person. So if you have been able to evoke all those feelings from the person, and you end with, oh, because of this achievement or because of that achievement, I now have a very good job and a high paying role in my country, the person will just be happy for you, and that's it. So you don't want to be so, and I'm just telling you for a fact, you don't want to be so expressive about having a high paying role in your country, okay? Because let's face it, it's a scholarship you're applying for. You're applying for assistance with your academics, right? The best you might get is maybe a partial scholarship or something, but there are a lot of full scholarships that you can be eligible for. But just don't mention that you're applying, you're having a very high paying role in your country, okay, in your country of residence, right? So I think I'll go on to from talking about um so I should make my, so Yumi also is asking another question. Thank you, Yumi. I like the fact that your questions are coming in. Okay, because it makes us feel like, yeah, we're actually, people are actually listening to what we're saying. So Yumi says, so I should make my story as sympathetic as much as possible. So there has to be a balance, right? You are not how do I put this in a nice way? So you are not really, really like a beggar by the street, okay? So I'm not saying that you should make it as sympathetic as possible to make them cry for you and all that. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying you should evoke sympathy. I'm saying evoke a feeling from the scholarship panel. Let's say, for example, you have a few achievements, and before the achievements, you can explain briefly what your life has been before that achievement, and then you explain how that achievement changed your life and how it shaped your goals moving forward, right? Like, okay, let's say, for example, like I have a friend who got a scholarship in the UK, and one of the stories that he gave, the major story that he gave, is about how his dog died, and They did not know. It was much later when they decided to skin the dog and everything just to have it skinned and all that after the dog died, right? It was much later that they realized that this dog died as a result of swallowing the plastic cover of a bottle, a plastic bottle, the cover of a plastic bottle. Okay, so right now he has a recycling company, a company that recycles plastic, and his dog's death. The reason for his dog's death was one of the things that inspired him to have that company. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you see that he is not begging, but at the same time, he's telling you that this death of my dog, which has lived with me for over 5 years, inspired me to do something to ensure that somebody else's dog does not swallow plastic, right? Does not swallow plastic just laying around, right? So I'm not saying you should be pitiful. What I'm saying is explain your achievements in such a way that you make them understand how that achievement has changed your life, how some experiences also have given you some goals, have shaped your goals, right? Just like I talked about this, my friend and his dog, how his experience shaped his goal, right? So this is one thing that's I hope that example um is helpful. So without depth, without proper depth, your narrative feels flat. And that is not what you want to go for, right? Now, the next point I'll be talking about, because I know that our time is really, really going, it's already 5 p.m. I'm going to be talking about the next point. I hope that you guys are really enjoying this session, though, because I am actually enjoying it. So I hope that viewers are enjoying it. Thank you, Yami, for those questions that have been coming in. Sorry, Esther, you wanted to say something? Esther, you wanted to say something?
Sorry, my network is really bad. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I want to call your attention to this last question and we need to start. So
Okay,
let's
okay,
just
okay.
summarize.
Yeah, I think I already responded to the last question where Yomi was asking if he should make his story as sympathetic as much as possible. All right, so let me just talk about the last point. Let me just run down to my last point. Okay, I have a lot of points actually, but I think maybe in another session, um, we will talk about it. Okay, so Yomi is saying, is there a recommended scholarship program for application? Any available one at the moment? There are several applications, most of which I speak about on my channel. So maybe you can check them out, and then if you're too late for some, you can now start preparing ahead for next year. So my final point, since we have to run, I'm running down to my last point. My last point is mindset and self sabotage. Now, I know that a lot of us don't really talk about this, but for me, changing of my mindset actually changed my life in a lot of ways. And I know that for scholarship applications, you also need to have the right mindset. What I've noticed whenever I hold consultations with people who are about to apply for a scholarship or people who want to understand and know their eligibility for scholarships, one thing that I understand from a lot of people is that a lot of applicants undervalue their experiences. Okay, so whatever experience that you've had that you feel has changed your life, don't undervalue it. Ensure that you find a way to tie it to your scholarship application. Now, another thing is that a lot of people compare themselves to others, and this is something that's very common, especially in developing countries. Okay, citizens of developing countries who think that, oh, I'm not as good as so person. I always say this, okay, and Esther knows that I always say this. It is better to try and fail than not to try at all. Some people compare themselves with others, and in the end, don't even try. Please don't be that kind of person, okay? Try your best, okay? Don't assume that you're not good enough, okay? Try your best, right? And the final thing I'm going to say, because of time, okay, I have so many points, but hopefully Esther would bring me up again to talk about scholarships. Another thing that I want to say is do not apply with fear, okay? Make sure that you do not apply with fear. Or yourself, stage of life you find yourself, whether it's scholarship you want to apply for or whatever you want to do in your life, in your career, try as much as possible not to apply with fear. Because guess what? If you allow fear to hold you down, a lot of people who are less talented are still moving on and doing that thing. Okay, while you are still saying, oh, what if, what if, what if, right? So that's my final point. Do not apply with fear and don't allow your fear to hold you back from applying. Thank you very much, Esther. I'm done. Thank you.
Oh, and we have really nice comments here.
Sorry, Esther, we can't hear you.
I want to switch my screen to the big screen because
Okay.
Yomi asked about some scholarship programs. I will share some links. I will also share the link at this video. So whoever is interested, you can go to the link and check out. It's going to give you more details about scholarship and types that are available based on the country you're from. So start with, let's start with Study Portal Masters. 1 minute. Let me switch my.
Okay, while you're switching your screen, Esther, I know somebody asked about my YouTube. Just search for my name, Zuri Wealth. Okay, Zuriwealth. Zuri Wealth is my YouTube. You would find some of these resources
This
there.
this clear enough. Please
Mm,
just pardon me a little bit.
no
Okay.
problem. The complete guide on the different kinds of scholarships. So Esther, I would also advise the last video that I uploaded on YouTube also has a link to the different kinds of scholarship in the description also. Maybe after
Yes,
this session, Yomi can
I'll
check it out as well.
share the link too. So
Okay.
just
All right.
to tell you about this. So this is study for. So if you want to know more about scholarships that are available, you can come here to see the types of scholarships. I'll also share your Zuri because it's actually very detailed too. But just for details not in this um live session that you people who are ready to do in-depth search on scholarships can come to this place, can see the table of content. You have different types of scholarship, the merit-based scholarship, the need-based scholarship, the scholarship for international students, all of them are here. And if you scroll down, there is this table which I advise you go through. Then there is the description of each of the scholarships down here. It's actually a long read, but very, very important if you are really serious about the scholarship issue.
Applications. Right. Hello, Esther. Are you there?
Zoe, please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you now. We were not hearing you before.
Sorry about. There is this particular place I want to go to. Okay, my battery is low. Thank you. Ahmed.
Okay. Maybe you
So this,
can also put the link in the description, the link to this in the description as well.
I just want to give like a guide on how to search for it. So if you come
Okay.
here, you can for Nigerian students to study abroad. You can go through. Some people heard you saying Erasmus and don't really. So just scroll this through this. See scholarship in. This is for United Kingdom. There are different countries here. Sorry, 1 minute. Let me plug there. Okay. So when you have the time, you can go through this. Let's not waste too much time here. Then this is the other site I'm going to share.
Hello, Esther.
Hi Zoe, am I back?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So this is the second link I'll be sharing. This is Southern New Hemisphere University. So it's also going to give you a lot of details about scholarship and the types that are available. So I'll share the link and link to Zuri's video on how to apply for those scholarships too. But also, if is interested, we're going to take it up from there. But for now, I think we've come to the end of this video. This slide. Thank you. Yomi Boy just gave you a follow. Thank you, Yomi Boy. That's actually really
Yay!
nice of you.
Thank you so much, Yummy. I appreciate. Hello, Esther. Are you there? Yes, you're back. Can you hear me? Okay, Joseph Francis says this has been very enlightening. Thank you. Thank you to Joseph Francis for coming on live.
Okay, sorry about that. The network here. Please, can you
No
hear me now?
problem. Yes, we can. Esther,
Yeah?
are you there?
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
It's stressing me today. I'm really sorry about this. But can you hear me?
Niger Network. Yes, we can hear you.
Right. I think we can conclude from here. Or is there another question? Let me quickly go through. Okay,
Okay.
there's no question. So, on this note, I would like to say a very big thank you to you again, Zuri. Thank you for accepting this invite. Thank you for such amazing session. If for any reason anybody reaches out to me and ask questions, more questions, and would like to speak to you, I'll definitely share your consultation link with them. And also, I advise everyone on this live and everyone who is going to watch it to please kindly subscribe to Zuri Wealth on YouTube. And Zuri is also a musician, so you can check up Zuri Wealth. So, guys, thank you for this amazing session. This is where we take a bow and call it a day. Thank you very much. Thank you
Thank you
once
so much
again.
for having me. All right. Take care of you.
Ah.